everybody, it's Mezzo here. Van will be back in just a second. He went to go get his old man glasses. I don't feel bad saying that whatsoever. I've known you too long to not feel bad or to feel bad, whatever. There he is. There is the man.
I also brought this. I'm really excited about it. It's just coincidence, but
Oh,
this is a hint at something. At something as well. I
okay.
was very excited about this.
Okay.
If
Yes,
you're
I
if
know.
you're
I
old,
know.
you may know who the character is. I bet our well, okay, all right, we'll see. And it says, um, I wonder who he's kissing, me or her.
Oh.
Right. Sorry, I had
Um,
to go. Well, I was getting my
I want
old
to
man
make
back.
sure to say hi on camera to Say Wong and Brent Wakefield, who are in the chat hanging out, along with any of our other regulars who silently watch but are here to support us. So thank you so much. Ben, we haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
Yes, I've been hiding out.
How are you feeling? I didn't say exactly. I just said that you were in the hospital. I didn't give any details because it's not my place. But how are you
Right.
feeling?
I appreciate I got a lot of love from a lot of people in the community. Of course it wasn't something that we spoke a lot about, but it was the reason why we had an episode last week where was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, where we had an emergency episode. I had a stroke on Friday, and by Saturday I was in the hospital until like Tuesday. Currently I'm having a little bit of vision issues, a little bit of balance, and the weird thing is like the left half of my body I don't have like like sensation, like I can't feel hot or cold. So I feel like I'm 50% superhuman right now. I have powers. So the other
Superhuman.
side is like
Like
that,
the
like I can go
Novocaine
into
guy.
combat.
Hi, Steve Duran Duran, Joshua. Yes, Van had a stroke. He let me know on Saturday that he was in the hospital. And so just kind of like, you do what you can. And I just made that short video explaining that it was a replay with Chris F. Bartlett, who when he was our guest. Well, gosh, a year ago, it felt like. So it was over a year ago. So I just replayed that. But that was just to kind of touch base that but Van was back home Tuesday, and the following weekend, the only reason he wasn't here for the show last week was because he was at a convention already selling sabers. So he was already back at work, and so we're just glad to see you here. See you doing that seems to be okay, at least. That you're
I,
here with us, especially too.
I thank you guys so much. It's helped me a lot to realize that I have a lot more out there. There are bigger things. Speaking of which, yesterday was the new moon, the dark moon or whatever, and they say it is a time for change. It's very interesting how a lot of these things are kind of happening at the same time. Same time I was in the hospital, I kind of had epiphanies about life and like what I want to do and the directions I want to take and what's important to me. And this is very much important to me. Also, at the same time, Marissa had her personal announcement, which is go ahead and tell people for those that may or may not know.
If you were not here at last week's show, I announced towards the end that I am leaving. And just to give you I didn't actually say when, but tell everybody officially now, my last show will be September 7th. We have a few people who are stepping in to help take over what I've done for the channel for 3.5 years. It has been, I know someone. It has been a wonderful 3.5 years being here on Kyber Cave Productions, but for both family health and for other projects I want to be able to do in my own stuff, I will be moving on to other things. I
Yeah.
will always be KCP fam. I will, who knows, even like every now and then, if a guest host, like co-host is needed suddenly, or I'll be like, I'll jump in. Because I know how to use the website and stuff. I know people would be bummed and sad because I've been around for so long.
Yeah.
I'm the comfort spot, comfort mezzo. But it's there's always I don't say good things come to an end, but other good things come as across your page, and you have to like take hold of that. And so I'm stepping back. And I'll still be around. I'll be in chat every now and then. I'm gonna be a patron for the show. Like I'm gonna still be around. I just won't be on the channel itself. So that is
Yes.
my announcement for today.
And of course, we are going to have Mitzo on every once in a while, and I will keep you informed of what she's doing. So make sure to support her in whatever her new endeavors may be. Even if she's selling shoes by the seashore, go buy her shoes.
I'm not a beach person, but if you do want to like support me in the other areas I'm going to be in, I know Brent has seen my YouTube channel, but I actually stream on Twitch, and I'll be on there a few times a week streaming, and I post those things onto my YouTube channel. Both are under Mezzo JD, so JD at the end. So if you want to check this out, it's Twitch and YouTube. The Twitch is the live stream, the YouTube is the upload of the streams. Like I record them as I'm doing them, and I also post like moments that are called they call them YouTube shorts, right? So I post those onto there.
And I see
all
Eric
that
down there.
All that.
Really quickly, Graham, if you're around, if you want to jump on camera real quick, we'll see if Graham is available over there.
That's if they're comfortable jumping on camera too. We can't just assume everybody's comfortable.
Right. Eric, are you ready? You ready for your big moment? Nod your head if you're good.
Okay,
I think we're good. All right.
This is Eric.
Eric is one of our new producers for Saber Rattle. Everybody give Eric a round of applause.
Wait, I have. Wait, where is it? There we go. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. As you know, and I'm not sure if he knows, he is stepping into some very big shoes. Mez has been with us for a long time, and she has her own audience. So Eric is going to be helping us, I think, primarily with the editing, I believe. Every once in a while, he may be coming on as a co-host. We'll see. I'm going to learn from Eric more of what he wants to do. But I know our biggest challenge right now is in editing. So that is a very important job on this show, believe it or not. We also have a second show that we're trying to put out at the same time. So this is a time for great change. Kyber Cave does not stop. We just keep getting stronger. And hopefully Mets may be coming back at some point with their own show. So we'll see. We'll see where life will take us. Eric, you want to say?
Just thanks for the welcome. Let me know what I can do to help. I'm a basic editor, very, very beginning. Know a little bit about producing and willing to learn.
That's right. And we're
huge nerd.
We'll beat you into shape there.
Oh, Lynn is in the chat with us.
Lynn is in the chat. Lynn, there is if you went to the producers page, there is a code for backstage. So if you want to come backstage, go ahead and jump backstage, but you are in the chat. Lynn is who we are looking at as the new co-host for Saber Rattle and the new director. So basically his job is to make sure that he will be working along with Eric to make sure we have all of our assets. This is all stuff that Metz used to do by herself. He will be taking over the nerdy news and the guest that character and talking to town. So Lynn, if you want to jump backstage, you can say hi. But Lynn is going to be your new co-host and director.
Awesome.
And he is also, I believe, going to be working on helping revive Kyber Cave After Dark version 2.0, which we have not yet announced. For some of those,
it wasn't technically announced.
What was that?
So yes, it wasn't technically announced yet that we're officially bringing that back.
Yes, we are, because we didn't necessarily know what was happening with our editors. The Facebook message won't update, so I can't access the link. All right. Well,
that's okay.
Next week, we'll get that worked out. So Lynn will be the new face over there on that side. What was I saying? What was I just talking about right before that?
Things. But
I was talking about
so you're talking about After Dark 2.0.
After Dark 2.0, right. So some of our original hosts of the show, for those that are in the know, we used to run a show once a week called Kyber Cave After Dark. It had multiple hosts. This version is going to be a scaled down version. It used to be a 2-hour show. It's now going to be a 1-hour show, and it's going to be slightly changed, but it's going to be, I think, something that everybody will like coming back to. We've gotten a lot of requests for it, so Eric is going to be part of the production team for that too. But that show is much easier to run, I think, than Saber Rattle. That's just a couple little tweaks.
It's a bit more laid back. It's not got the set segments like this one has in the schedule specifically to keep. Speaking of schedule, Eric, I'm going to drop you down below and we're going to move on to nerdy news. So thank you for appearing on camera for a bit. Thank you. So guys, it is time for the nerdy news. Where's my music? Come on.
I blew my
All
water on
right.
that one.
First on the nerdy news. Star Wars November 2025 comics preview The Secret of Corliss Wrath, Kylo Ren faces Vader's castle, and more. Coming this November, Star Wars comics are turning up the heat. Kylo Ren
Ooh.
journeys to the ominous Vader's castle of Mustafar, while the secrets behind Corliss Wrath begin to surface. Expect epic confrontations, dark mysteries, and fresh revelations in the galaxy far, far away. This article that I read this on is written by Nate Manning on Star Wars Newsnet. If you would like to check that out, I am popping that into the chat, but it's also in the description down below. So that is,
Ooh.
what do you think about that, Van?
I like them apples. I'm digging it.
You like them apples?
I
like.
don't read the comic books as much as I did when I was younger. I used to be much more of a collector and a reader. But you know, I like that it's being kept alive. I like that Star Wars is a fandom you can get in under so many different types of, whether you're into board games, whether you're into comic books, whether you're into movies, shorts. There's so many different ways to access Star Wars.
It basically is touched like every form of media you can pretty much imagine.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
if reading is your thing, then comics are there for you. It's really nice. They have a lot of stuff like that. All right, next on our nerdy news, a giant Chewbacca joins the fight in new Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past trailer. So get ready for galactic giggles and mismatched mashups. Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past is dropping on Disney Plus on September 19th. The trailer has just arrived. Think giant Chewbacca Portal hybrids, Darth Jar Jar on spider legs, and an all-star voice cast, including Alan Tudyk, Ben Schwartz, and Dan Stevens. If you don't know who those people are, you've been living under a rock now. Alan Tudyk is a extremely famous voice actor. He did the robot from iRobot. He did Hey Hey from Moana. Like, he's done so many different things throughout time. It's pretty amazing. Even in the new Superman movie, he played the robots in the gosh, my brain is blanking on Superman's Crystal Cave all of a sudden.
But he is K2SO. That's all you need to know. K2SO.
Yeah, he's K2SO for Star Wars. And then Ben Schwartz is the current voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, but he's also an actor in several other things. And Dan Stevens, I guess probably one of the more famous things I know him in is the Beast from the live action Beauty and the Beast, but he's an amazing actor and singer as well. So if you want to watch now and catch the chaos unfolding in this 4-part sequel, the trailer is in the article, which was written by the team at StarWars.com. I will also pop that into the chat, and you can check that below. Hello, Raph. Welcome to the show. He said hello to Kyber K family. Raph, we've known for ages. I'm showing Raph's comment first, Van.
I already showed it. Sorry.
Oh, I did not realize it. I just saw his chat. I was focused on reading my Star Wars news. Okay,
right.
But that is your nerdy news for today. Aren't you all gonna miss that banter?
Hey, this is the perfect time before we get into the flow of the show to remind you can help support the show by heading over to Patreon, kybercave.com. There's KCP merch. There's lots of ways to help us out. This is new artwork that we have in, if you have not seen it. This is done by Shantae Neely. She is a local Bay Area comic book artist and cosplayer. And I'm really excited about the sticker. And then we have these kind of more basic stickers. So we are updating. Awesome. We're doing a lot of brand new stuff. So if you see us live, the next show that I know that we're going to be at is Kaboom Con in about 3 weeks from now. But make
and
sure
you also have new business cards.
Yes, we do. Oh, I don't have.
And you probably have them around everywhere anyway. I have several of the ones I still have.
They look very similar to the old ones.
They're similar, but what's nice about the updating wise is that the YouTube channel side doesn't have any faces, so it doesn't matter who's there and who's not. It'll always be current,
consistent. Exactly.
All right, so James Kaiser, who is our producer for Flow, the show, he provides us a Flow artist every week to feature on the show. And we're one of the few shows that features this. If you don't know what Flow is, it is a mesmerizing type of dance in some sort, like whether it be gloving, a saber spinning, fire dancing, anything like that. And this week's is fire. Van, do you think they have long hair? Do you think?
Of course they have long hair. Because it wouldn't be paranoia and anxiety if they didn't.
Dalton assumes is our flow of the show this week. I will show his information in the chat, but if you want to check the description, if you're watching the upload, it is also there. So please enjoy Dalton assumes. That is your flow of the show this week, Dalton.
Wow, nice little touches there at the end too. Like I feel so sad. Like I see all these. A lot of times, I know in the audience it looks the same to you from week to week, but because I see it week to week, I often recognize where there are small little changes, even if it's like little things in the music or colorizations or whatever. And I will tell you, dude, we're gonna miss you so much. Metz puts effort into every single show. She doesn't just set it and forget it. She like actually tries to figure out how to make each show that much better, and it is something I love about you and appreciate.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, that was fantastic.
The background, his scenery where he was so epic. So I felt like epic music was required, and but every time I watched while I was editing, I just felt cold because I saw the snow and the ice.
I love that mix of the two,
coming out of him.
I love the mix of the two extreme elements, the idea of fire and ice like together. Like there was just something so surreal about watching all that. It was fantastic. That was actually really fun. Like I could have watched another 5 minutes.
Enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching that one quite a bit. And so thank you, James Kaiser, for producing that flow of the show for us and sending it over. But now it is time for the main event.
Yes, we are 3 minutes over. So we just had a lot of information this week. This has been a big show. The next couple of shows we have some big changes, and we are going to kind of shift and adjust accordingly. But this next young gentleman, I have been excited about. I met him almost 3 months, 3 months ago, at a convention in Sacramento at the Scottish Rite Center. He was absolutely okay. So it's funny that on this show we get to meet a lot of people that have been in things that we kind of grew up with. But this was literally my favorite character in the G.I. Joe toy line, and I remember saving up my money to buy the Zartan that could change colors because none of the other guys could do that or whatever. So this one is like a fulfillment of a childhood dream interview. I am super excited to talk to Mr. Hoffman. And I don't know, did you get the video of footage of him at the lightsaber battle?
No, I did not get it uploaded. I did not.
Oh man, I sent over fantastic footage. This man's a lot more spry on his feet than I am. Good Lord. So
I could get it ready while you're talking to him, though.
I would love it. That would be so cool. But with no further ado, please give it up for the master of disguise himself, Mr. Zack Hoffman. Woo!
Yeah.
Hello. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing terrific. Hello, my little dreadnoks. It is I, Zartan, ruler of the swamp.
I love it. I love it. You know what's funny is oh, we got a comment over here. Over here. I had a Zartan figure too. It was difficult to get. You had to special order it. Ah, yes. Yes. That is there's been, and it's funny how I looked into it. I guess there's been controversy around the Zartan character himself. But let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. How did you how long have you been into voice acting? I know this is a character you are known for, but are there other things do you do, or tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay. I found I loved acting and radio. So those two things sort of came together for me, and you do the next job, and I found my way to improv comedy, improvisational theater, and I absolutely loved it. I went and saw the committee in Los Angeles. I was living in LA, and I went and saw the committee many years ago. And it was Rob Reiner and Ron White, and oh my gosh, I can start naming the people, and they're gone now.
Right.
But it was fantastic, and I went, I want to do this, and I found my way to a guy named Kent Scove, who ran the LA Connection. And we did clubs. We did the Laugh Factory. We did Helen's Place. We did the Comedy Store, and we had a show. It was great. And one of the things that Kent did was he liked to dub old movies with a comedy soundtrack live at the theater. So people would come, and that was at the New Art Theater in Los Angeles. So I'm dubbing a terrible Ed Wood movie called Bride of the Monster. And we watch it and we go, what could this possibly be? And we said, let's make it a James Bond movie. So I played Bond, James Bond, and I was doing my best Sean Connery. And, so I'm telling this story to Wally Burr, at the bar at Michelli's, having drinks, talking to Wally Burr, and his eyes get wide, and he says, "Hey, we're looking for a character. We can't find the voice." And he said, I think you can do this. And so I said, great. And before that, let's go back. But before that, I was doing looping. I was dubbing Spanish soap operas into English. I was doing some foreign films. I got to do Fanny and Alexander, the English version of that. So I was starting to make my bones in the studio. And so Wally said, "Come on." And I went home and he told me the character, and I put a couple of things together and came up with Zartan.
Wow. That is fantastic. So back then, it seems like, and I'm not a professional actor, especially now recently, but it seems like you were a lot more open to learning a lot of different trades within the industry. It seems like nowadays with the union and everything, it would be harder to go from learning, the sound tech side to, the voice acting side, and just being all over the film. Sound like you really had access to many different departments that nowadays an apprentice might not even have access to.
Well, I will just say this, and that I went to the Estelle Harmon Actors Workshop, and we were in the master's class, which was Monday night. And there were, 18 of us. And we would bring scenes in and all that stuff. But that first night that we walked in, she said to us, if you're looking to do, to be in a sitcom, get out now.
Wow.
Because you need to be able to do everything. If you want to survive in show business, you need to be able to do looping. You need to be able to sword fight. You need to be able to act on stage, act in camera. And that's how you're going to survive.
Right.
And it was something that stuck with me, and it's something that I find very true. And this is the new television, YouTube,
Right.
podcasts.
Exactly.
Seriously, I mean, so it's changed, and to be able to know how to do a podcast and to be able to know how to be an actor, it'll all come together.
Right. Now you get the more convenience of being able to do it from your room. I was going to ask you about that because obviously in the beginning, as a voice actor, you would have to go to a specific studio and work with a group of people. Now a lot of the voice actors have a little closet in their house that they've set up, and they're able to to record themselves and send the stuff in. There's been so many changes within your industry. But you did have a specific question here. There was a question from Night Vision that says, I wonder if Zartan was the inspiration for Arya Stark.
It's Arya.
Arya, sorry.
That's great. No. That would be quick no, but thank you. That's one of my favorite characters is Arya. Yeah.
Wow. So now when you came up with the idea of Zartan, did you pretty much nail it on the first time, or did you kind of work with his voice, or did you have this, how many photos or what kind of images did you have to look at to kind of create this character in your mind?
I had it was Larry's drawing. He had a hood. It looked like, he was very big, and so he was an imposing presence,
Right.
but also he ran a crew.
Right.
He was the leader of the Dreadnoks. So. I guess I looked at Alex from A Clockwork Orange.
Right.
So
I was going to say it's very interesting to me. That's why I'm amazed to get to talk to you right now, because you were such a you have so much knowledge that we're not going to be able to access later. But the especially in context, I remember being a child, collecting the characters and watching the cartoons, and in particular, Zartan was one of the first characters in the second wave of G.I. Joe toys. So in the first wave, it was very grunts and military, and Cobra had their officers, and they only have like 3 guys in Cobra Commander. But then in the second wave, you started to see more interesting characters like Zartan and Major Blood. Major Blood was another one that popped up. That wasn't your Destro. Destro was another one that popped up. That wasn't your standard military, kind of a guy. But that's what made Zartan so mysterious. And I was unaware, and I'm not sure if you're aware or if you could speak to this, but when I was researching about Zartan, it's one of the first characters and one of the few characters to have a controversy because of the card,
which we call the Holy Grail, right? The thing in the back of the toy when you bought the toy, and because he changed personalities and was could go from one to one to one, for anything. They called him a paranoid schizophrenic.
Right.
Well, people went bananas. Right. The mental health community went bananas, and definitely rightfully so. But it's only a toy.
Do you?
And they did change it, But
did you have to deal with that in real time? Like I don't know exactly when that
no.
controversy happened, or like was that something you just weren't kind of aware of until?
Oh no, I was aware of it. I mean, it was on David Letterman, brought it on his show. So yeah, I was like, oh well, I'll never get on Letterman now. It's
right. Did you have any idea that this character was going to be like, I don't know, kind of like a favorite character or a standout character in any way, or was it just another job?
We go from gig to gig to gig to gig to gig to gig, right? Right. That's our job, is to go and do the next indicated job. Like I've had the opportunity to do a play that ran for a year and a half. That's unheard of.
Right,
it's usually a 6 to 8 week run, and then you do the next character. And so to do this character for 4 years, or three or 4 years, and do the movie is spectacular, but then you move on, and I didn't understand how loved this character was until I went to my first Comic-Con, which was 25 years later. Right. It was in Toronto, and people were like, I walked in and they were like, say the line. And I'm like, what? What line? From the movie. What? And then the guy's whispering the line in my ear,
Right. Wow. How surreal it's got to feel to see people dressed in cosplay as you, or as your character.
First of all, I couldn't have fallen in to a nicer, creative, more wonderful community than the cosplayers. And they have been so good to me. I can't even tell you. Wow. I have plaques up, and it's just wonderful, and they do good things. Right. Joe's Finest. They always raise money for charity. Each one has their own specific charity. They are just terrific.
Right.
So yeah, I have the best time.
I've always thought it was a weird job. Okay, so I got to tell everybody in the audience, this is my story. But so everybody here knows that we work conventions during the weekends. Well, roughly a show before we did the show with Zach, about a month before, there was they had put out an edition where it was a G.I. Joe Transformer crossover toy, and it had Zartan and Zarana, and then it had Soundwave that would convert into like your battle buggy or whatever. So I didn't have the $120 to buy the set, but I was able to trade lightsabers with the other guy. The cool thing about owning a lightsaber store, and so I was able to get this toy. And I'm the type of person that opens things up, but for some reason I just kind of kept it on the shelf. And then come to find out, like 2 weeks later, I was going to be meeting Zach and Lisa, who plays a Zarana at this show in Sacramento, and it was absolutely it was like fate. It was fate that I had picked up this action figure set.
Well, first of all, let me just say, we had so much fun in Sacramento. So I walk into his booth, and they go, "Hey, you want to play with a lightsaber?" And we went, "Yeah!" And so Lisa and I square off with lightsabers in the middle of the floor, and like a crowd comes over. It was so much fun.
You can't help but turn into a 7-year-old again.
Yeah.
And then on your autograph to Kyber Cave, you said thank you for arming the dreadnoughts. Is it strange to you to what other professions that would be like? God, I try to compare it. It seems so odd to me, but it'd be like if I had a pizza delivery job when I was 21 years old, And then 40 years from now, people are like, oh my God, you worked at the best pizza shop in the whole world. We want to get your original crew back together and tell us about your time that you had, 20 years ago with people that you probably barely even know yourself.
I tell my family, look, they're going to break me out of the old folks' home. They're going to give me a plane ticket and feed me. Come on.
That's all I need.
That's it.
Is it interesting to learn? Like, did you know? I mean, back then, well, your character ran for 4 years, so you have to have known how big and popular it was. But did you think ever, even at that time back then, that like, man, 40 years from now, people are still going to be coming up to me and they're going to bring their children and talk about, watching me when they were kids?
That's so amazing. Yeah, no, I had no idea, and it's still wonderful. I only do maybe, I did 3 this year, and I did 4 this year. So, and I don't go out often, but when I do, it's just wonderful. It's heartwarming. It's terrific.
Right. Do you think having done a character that was so popular and so beloved at the time, do you think it made it easier or more challenging for you as a voice actor to do work after G.I. Joe?
Well, I did different things. I don't think it hindered me. We follow. I mean, right after G.I. Joe, I went on the road and worked for Mattel. I was man-at-arms in the live-action version of He-Man, She-Ra, and the Masters of the Universe, and we did that for 14 months.
Wow.
And that was, like I was in a He-Man and She-Ra, a married couple, Jack and Leslie Wadsworth, and they were Conan and Red Sonja at Universal Studios at the Universal Studios tour, and they would like slide down a 50-foot rope, and they were already action heroes.
Right.
I got a 50-pound neoprene suit to wear that was green, with their orange helmet. But I had to make that come to life as well.
The 80s was such an odd time with the weird types of characters that we had. We were from mutant turtles to big buff dudes to skinny soldiers to robots that change.
Right.
Was there ever any franchise where you were like, oh man, I wish I could have been Optimus Prime, or I wish, I could have done this character or that character?
No, not really. I mean, we are who we are, right? We do what we do. I'll just tell you a funny story. Al Pacino refused, because he swore a lot in Scarface.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of the director's name. And boom, bang, I'm gone. But it was Scarface. And the director said, listen, we want to make a version, and we want to tone down, so that it'll go on network television. And we want to tone down the swearing. And, and Al said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So they sent out a call. Sent out a call. So everybody is, come on, see my little baby. Everybody is doing an Al Pacino. Oh, I'm going to get this gig. Right. So there's like 100 guys doing Al Pacino. And of course, Al hears that and he goes, no, I'm going to do it. So he did.
Nice.
Well, we are who we are. We get to do what we get to do.
Right. How is it with you? Like, okay. So when you were recording the voice back in the day, were you by yourself or were you with the team, or Was it the other?
It was
dreadnoughts all
massive chaos. It was wonderful. And we were having there was a party in the freaking hall. There were, they bring them all in. It was, like because Wally would have a rehearsal.
Right.
And it was because it was groundbreaking. This was the first time an American show was animated. The voices were animated in Japan. So usually the Japanese animation came to America and we would reloop it. This way, the voices, it was like a radio show, went to Japan and they animated to our voice, which I think is why the show, well, there's so many reasons why the show worked so well. And the humor, the writing, the characters. I mean, I'm glad I'm here and I'm glad I'm talking about it, but I'm a cog in a little wheel called the G.I. Joe universe, which is a fantastic universe, right?
I've always thought it was interesting. It was the one franchise where nobody ever died. Every time a ship blew up,
nobody could shoot. Nobody could shoot. Little and little what is it? Parachutes with that. Planes would go down. A lot of parachutes. No one died.
There was zero. The only war with zero casualties.
Great stuff.
Yeah. So, do you remember working with a young Lisa and the other Dreadnoughts, where you were all in the same room together?
Yeah, but you got to understand, a long time ago. But yes, we were all there. In the early days, they started scaling down a little, but in the early days there was I think 6 to 8 microphones. And they would sort of be angled so we could face each other, and then they'd have the Joes on one side and the villains on the other, and the Cobras on the other, and then Chris would be in the middle because he went both ways, and it was a lot of fun. And at the end, they bring us in to do the looping, which was, Wally would call out, take a shot to the face. Now one to the stomach. Ooh. Now get hit over the head. And it was just like he'd call it out, and then everybody go, Yo Joe, everybody go Cobra. It was terrific.
Wow.
We had a lot of fun.
Wow. It's amazing when you can have fun and be creative and artistic and just be yourself, as opposed to because you're creating something nobody's ever seen before or something that nobody's ever done. So nobody can tell you exactly how to do it.
Nope. It's a wonderful thing. It's just a wonderful thing.
Do you have I'm sure you have a ton of like Zartan stuff that have people I'm sure made you gifts or things that that they've worked on to give to you as a gift?
I have some stuff that people give me. Yes, it's really nice. I have a little treasure chest over there with I have a few, I have the new Cold Slither. I have a Pop. I have a Zartan 36, I think. So, and a lightsaber.
Oh, wonder where that came from. Yeah,
that guy.
So besides voice acting and obviously work that you're known for, what other talents? I've often seen that like people who are immensely talented in one field are often talented in another field. It just doesn't get as much attention. So oftentimes I know musicians who are also great cooks, or I know people that are painters that are fantastic sculptors as well. Do you have another side art that you do?
I'm a trained bass baritone, so I used to sing quite a bit, and I had a partner, comedy partner, Alfie Green, and we would do novelty songs. And we had a #1 novelty song on Dr. Demento for quite some time. It's called "Bald Headed Woman."
Woo! Love Dr. Demento.
Yeah, I love the doc, and I don't know. I got to be on a stage, and it wasn't always in front of a microphone. When I moved to Seattle in '95, I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to sell shoes. But no, Microsoft kept calling me and saying, we need you to do stuff. They had their own studio, and I wound up being the voice of NT Server, if you know what that was. And also did Encarta Learning Language. I mean, like probably some of the best 2 weeks of that I had, in a set. It was the first time I did blue screen. So that was wild, right?
Right.
And then, I've done, then it's, I'm in the studio doing commercials. I got an agent and I do commercials but I auditioned for a play called Tony and Tina's Wedding, which was here in Seattle, produced by Ron Paskin and Douglas Gray. And it ran for close to a year and a half.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show, too. That is amazing.
Yeah, and I just had fun. And, like my phone rang off the hook one morning, and I went, what's going on? And they go, you're on the front page of the Times. They got a picture of you with Tony and Tina. You're marrying them. Oh, my God.
That's fantastic. Do you prefer the live stuff, or do you prefer the studio stuff?
I love being in front of an audience. There's nothing like it.
Right.
There's not, especially if you have something to say. Yeah, even like I went on a little, like I'm a young actor, and I decide to that's a great question. I got to answer that question, but let me get the story out. Now I forget where I am. I'm a young actor, and I'm and I've taken a year, and I've gone to Europe and other places and traveled, and when I get back, my coach Marty Taras, he's directing a play, and he puts me in the play, and it's William Saroyan's The Time of Your Life, and here it is. I play the old Arab. I have 9 lines, and I'm on stage for 2.5 hours with 9 lines.
Wow.
So it was an exercise in how to be in character, because, and it was wonderful, and it brought me back.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So besides the obvious Space Needle, what should people see when visiting Seattle? It is one of the great cities. Please don't go to the Needle. I know it's terrible, but don't go. The people who live there call the Needle the $36 elevator. So,
wow.
but there are places like Golden Gardens, which is in Ballard. Find the trolls. Go visit all the trolls. There's one troll that's underneath the Fremont Bridge that's made of stone. But the other trolls that are in West Seattle, there's one in Ballard, they're made of driftwood. So it's always, and they're like 18 feet high. It's just amazing. They're amazing.
Wow. Huge.
The water is there. There's well, go see a ball game, especially now. Mariners are hot. Cal Ripken just hit his 49th home run this year. So that's good. And then of course the Hawks are coming, and so that street, there's a street called I don't know. Now I can't think of the name of the street, but it's in between all in between the two stadiums, and you walk from downtown right to the two stadiums, and at the end there's a place called Marv's hot dogs. And he's got a Polish sausage with sauerkraut and onions that's to die for. You got to go get a Marv's.
Wow, you gave me Billy Crystal vibes there for a moment.
Go get
Mavs. So when you go to the conventions, is there anything that you hear constantly, or is there a reason why people gravitate towards your character as opposed to Cobra Commander or Destro? Or
I think they love playing with the toy. I didn't understand it until somebody said to me, well, when we played with the toy, we used your voice. Right? So, because when I'm reading, Alex Cross, it's Morgan Freeman in my ear, right?
Right. Oh, that's kind of cool. So nowadays, how do you keep yourself busy? You said you're doing conventions maybe 3 or 4 a year. You're still doing more commercials, I imagine, and
I have officially retired. I'm hanging up my guns, Marshall. I'm not shooting any more people.
Wow.
I've officially retired. I did a one-man show for a long time, which I loved, which was called Tuxedo Man. And I'm not doing that, but I am writing poetry. So I'm still writing. I'm writing poetry and short stories, and I'm still keeping active. But as far as me walking on a stage again, I'm too blind. I'm too deaf. I'm too old.
All right.
I don't play a lot of tennis, but I play a fair amount of tennis. I'm having a blast because I get to play with people in my demographics. We have a great time. Right. So I get kidded a lot when I wear shorts, because when I'm playing tennis, I wear knee braces on both knees. And then when I'm not playing tennis and I'm walking around in shorts, I have a tan line over my knees.
The middle of your knee has got a big brown like that.
And a big, yes, exactly.
Hey, sometimes it's what you got to do, for fashion. You got to give up the fashion for function.
That's right.
Well, is there anything you want to leave people with, Zach? I don't know if you have any words of wisdom, or if there's websites or other places you want to direct people towards. If you have any merchandise that people can pick up, what would you like to leave with people?
Come and visit me at zackhoffman.com. That's where I am, and you can always email me from there. And I have a book of poetry. I'm just happy to do, there is a Zartan page on there, and when I'm doing Comic-Cons, I will post them. So, okay. I'm so happy to see you. And, we had such a good time in Sacramento. I wish you had that that
Well,
clip.
I was going to say,
So,
we're about to leave you with a little treat here. Netzo can't help but turn into a 7-year-old again.
Oh my God, this is too good.
Yes, I'm recording you guys. Keep going. Oh!
Okay, that is awesome.
What's incredible is having that amount of space at a convention to actually be able to saber battle.
exactly.
And we are hoping to have that other beautiful young lady on our show in the future.
Good, because I just talked to her, and Lisa.
Let people know who she is. So,
Lisa Raggio, who is a very talented actress and a wonderful voiceover person, and that's really the gift. Is that I've been able to reconnect with a lot of people that from the show,
right.
And there's Lisa, and Lisa and Arthur Burkhart, who does Destro, I speak with all the time. I feel very lucky to be, to have that kind of connection.
Right. You are in a community that has meant a lot to a lot of different people. I mean, across the entire planet. You can go to South America or to Europe, and people know who your character is.
I know.
Zach, it has been an absolute pleasure. I love talking to you. Anytime you want to come back, if you have new things you want to promote, if you decide to come out of retirement and do another feature film or whatever, just let us know, and we would love to talk to you again.
All right. And I look forward to doing the next Comic-Con with you.
Most definitely. And try not to do too much damage with your lightsaber there.
Thank you. I won't. Goodbye, my little dreadnoughts.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zack Hoffman, for coming on the show this evening. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed listening to that interview. I was even texting my husband. I was like, "Hey, did you watch G.I. Joe? Do you know who's Zartan?"
You don't know what it's like for like. I saw. By the way, I saw Lynn pop in down at the bottom. We'll bring him on in this segment. But
we will.
For old farts like me and Lynn, you don't know what how that just makes you feel like a child again when you hear a voice that you haven't heard, and at that time period, there's oh my God, that's Zartan or whatever. So to kind of be a 7-year-old again and hear that voice, it's oh, I don't know. I'm old.
It's hard to explain. It's like when you would hear Anthony Daniels do C-3PO, and you would just be like, oh, you feel those feels, all that feelings like tickling at your nerves in a nice way.
You felt when you first heard him when you were 4 or 5 or whatever. So yeah.
Yes.
So
all right. Well, thank you, Mr. Hoffman, for coming on the show.
We have a lot of great interviews coming. Next month we have Andy from Toy Story. Mr. John Morrow will be here in October, actually.
Yes.
Soleil Moon Fry has agreed to be on. Soleil Moon Fry is going to be here, guys. That is going to be Punky Brewster. Oh my goodness. And next week I want to talk about the all right, so does anybody in the audience recognize this character, who this is? I bought this shirt as a joke or whatever, but then found out that this artist is going to be on the show next week. I can't even hold it up straight. There we go. Anybody know who that is? Do you know who that is, Mets?
Nope. Sorry.
See, it's before your time. All right. Anybody in the chat?
I'm just so young.
You guess that character. Anyway,
guess that character. Before we do that,
Keith Tucker will be here next week.
Yes.
He has also worked on Animaniacs. He has worked on G.I. Joe, Transformers,
More Than Meets the Eye,
in the Brain. Yeah, so many cartoons, so many different storyboards. So he will be on the show next week. But he also worked on Gem, which I thought was really funny. Oh crap! Never mind. Yeah.
Anyway, we also
Okay.
have, we told you earlier in the show that I am leaving the channel. I'm stepping down. I have, including this show, I have 3 shows. So September 7th is my last show. So 2 weeks from today. And we are training up some new producers, directors, editors, people to take my place. And we had, you guys said hi to Eric earlier, but we have DJ Uppercuts here with us this evening to also, who's going to be helping out. So I'm going to bring him on the stage and y'all can give him a nice warm welcome. Hello there.
everybody.
Let me give you an applause as well.
Thank you.
Where in the world are you, Carmen Sandiego?
Carmen, you know what? I'm in Michigan. I'm actually in Auburn Hills, Michigan, 30 minutes outside of Detroit. Used to be in California, but I've been out of Michigan for about 3 years now. It's cold. It's 3 hours. You guys, actually, it's not even that cold. We're still in summertime, so it's all good. But
you are out in the neck of the woods. We have another producer that works on the show, Graveyard. He is out in that at least area as well.
He's in that time
this
zone.
show
He's in
is very
Chicago.
diverse.
Oh, he's in Chi-Town. He's in Chicago, like in
Yeah.
Illinois. That's right. Yeah, I think I came on to an old episode of Saber Rattle, and he was on there, and he's from Illinois. So yeah, we're out in this time zone. So yeah, I mean, but you know what? It makes it all worth it. I'm out here. I don't care that I'm up late. It doesn't matter.
We appreciate you coming in because I know it is like a 2-hour difference, so it's 10
Three,
o'clock there right now.
3
It
hours.
is 3. Okay.
It is 3.
Sometimes with the time changes too, like some, whatever.
Yeah.
It always gets my brain not sure exactly where the
Oh,
line is as well. So thank you for coming in, and thank you for coming in and helping out. Because there's lots to learn.
Uppercuts and I have a very long background. We literally go back to the 6th grade. But throughout the years, we've worked on various projects together. When we were doing an open mic show for the web, he was the DJ for our and you've run battles with us through another show. So there's we have an extensive past together working on projects. So I'm very excited that if I have to lose a mezzo, that I have a Uppercuts coming in with Eric and with Graham and with Uppercuts. I think across the 2 new shows, you guys are going to be really excited at some of the new footage and stuff we have for you.
I mean, I'm looking
Lynn
forward.
Kind of hang with us.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to everything and anything that Mezzo has to teach me. And again, I'm actually kind of sad this year because I've actually kind of fallen in love with you guys' dynamic as well. So I mean, I'm a little sad to see her go. I thought we were all going to be doing this thing, but I mean, I get it. And so, but yes, I'm definitely a little sad to see you go as well, Mezzo. Even though I
appreciate that.
Yes, of course.
It feels like I've been around forever. I actually we have a little Facebook chat right now for all of us to kind of talk about what's going on and everything. And Van mentioned that I joined this channel 3 days before my first show.
Exactly. So you
Literally,
guys think you're getting baptism by fire. She picked everything up
I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. But if you guys don't know the story of how I joined the channel, a friend of mine who I've known for years was the store manager for Cobra Cave when it had a storefront.
Okay.
And he knew that I live stream on my own personal channel stuff, and I was taking a break from that and whatnot. And he messaged me on a Thursday and was like, "Hey, do you know anyone who has video editing and live streaming experience?" And my reply was, "What do you want?" He just connected us, and I met Van on the day of the live show, earlier in the day at the store. We went over how he wants everything and edited and stuff, and I did it all there at the with my old laptop. I still have it, but I used a laptop at his store, edited everything, and then went home and appeared on the show that night. It was
you were baptized by fire as well.
I'm familiar being on camera and having streamed before. I've streamed by myself. So I knew even if there's been nights where Van wasn't here and I was completely alone, I know I'm not awkward talking on screen, because I know a lot of people struggle with like just being alone and talking, but you know, there's people. So I know there's people to talk to and stuff. And if there wasn't, when I first started streaming by myself, there was nobody there. And I literally just acted like I was talking to a friend. Telling them about the game I was playing.
Neto came on this show in episode 93. What are we at? 240?
We're at 244 tonight. Yeah.
244.
And she came on episode 93.
Wow.
He asked me, "Do you remember your first one? Was it like 192?" And I was like, "No."
It was in the double digits.
And I took 1 5-week vacation that entire 3.5 years.
Wow.
We were at like what, 420?
We were at 468 when I joined, and now we're at 2,936. So almost at 3,000, which is fantastic. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to 3,000 before I leave.
Yeah. I would love to give away a NeoPixel Saber before you leave.
That would be amazing.
Glenn, you can hang out with us while we do guess that character.
Ooh, yes, I would love to. I would love to.
We always enjoy guess that character.
All right. So, Lynn, if you have an idea of who this is, you're gonna type it in the private chat. So that we don't
all I will do is let you know if you're right or wrong. Who is this, y'all? Who this be? Like, new silhouette, who this? I didn't make it too hard this week, I think.
Yeah, I think this is...
You are correct.
You go, like...
And specifically...
young Han Solo, Luke Skywalker. Well, you know, Luke, okay, I think everybody understood that, yes, it is Luke Skywalker. He's holding, he's in his little dark outfit there. Luke Skywalker, everyone... I don't really think he needs an introduction per se, but anyone who doesn't know, for some odd reason, he began his journey as a humble moisture farmer on Tatooine, but destiny had greater plans. Born to fallen Jedi Anakin Skywalker and Senator Padme Amidala, he was hidden from the Empire and raised in obscurity, as we saw some even extra idea of that on Obi-Wan. Until fate led him to the Rebel Alliance. Under the guidance of Jedi Masters Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda, Luke transformed into a legendary Jedi Knight whose bravery toppled the Death Star, redeemed his father, and helped restore balance to the galaxy. So that is the first guess that character. Now, who's that? You gotta know who this is.
I know.
You gotta know who it is, right?
Wait, come on. Am I off? Am I not?
Is that your guess, Van?
It's young Bo.
Lynn. Already. Bubba Fett, young Bubba. I'm gonna call him Bubba now.
Star Wars.
Baby Bubba. Is he unaltered?
Okay, before you go on, there's specifically that particular picture that you took.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that particular picture.
I know. And I was like, I'm gonna make tonight kind of easy. So. Boba Fett is an unaltered clone turned bounty hunter, spawned from the DNA of legendary Mandalorian Jango Fett, who became one of the most feared figures in the galaxy. I'm going to say that wrong. From witnessing his father's death of Geonosis. Thank you. To crafting his own fearsome legacy Mandalorian armor and piloting the infamous Slave One, Boba earned a reputation as the deadliest hunter around. Over the years, he's taken on roles ranging from underworld enforcer to daimyo of Mos Espa, while all embodying cool, calculated menace. So that is your guess that character this evening.
Yeah.
All right, can I tell the story about that picture? For those that don't know?
Yeah, you can tell it. Go for it.
Okay, so when they were filming that actual scene, it's Boba opens the door and Obi-Wan is standing there, and Lucas wants Boba to give him a suspicious look, but young Boba is not nailing this look or whatever. So Ewan leans down to him and he says, "When the door opens, I want you to look at me like I've just released a terrible fart." So that look that you see him giving is him imagining Obi-Wan releasing a terrible fart.
Yeah.
Okay, and to add on to that, I don't know if you've seen Murder on the Orient or Murder on the Oriental on the train, Murder on the Orient. At Agatha Christie, they made a movie version of it, the remake of the movies recently with like Josh Gad, Johnny Depp, like in the course of her you have Hercule Poirot by Kenneth Branagh, and he plays Hercule. And in the movie, Josh Gad, all the movies, all the actors do press junkets and go to talk shows and stuff. And Josh Gad, who's one of the characters, talked about Cho-Cho murder mystery. Choo-choo murder mystery, yes. Josh Gad talked about, everyone looking at each other suspiciously. And then all became about guessing, like making the face of who let out the fart. And they're like, like making those type of faces. And so it makes me laugh. And it's like, also, if you don't know who that is, the actor Nathan Fillion, who was, most recently Green Lantern in the Superman movie, who was Malcolm Reynolds on Firefly and stuff. He also talked about being in soap operas and that there's like 3 faces to soap operas. It's like, oh no, I forgot to turn off the oven. And oh no, I forgot to turn it off. And no, I turned it off. like there's like 3 faces to soap operas and stuff like that too. So that was a fun little tidbit. Guys, if you want to know how you can help support the channel, you can do patreon.com/KyberK Productions. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, as it says in our banner at the bottom of the page. We also take YouTube super chats, which is a way to donate to the channel that goes straight to the YouTube channel revenue. If you didn't know, YouTube actually does not pay you until you reach $100. And we are actually almost there for the first time since we became monetized 2.5 years ago. So we're almost there. Help us get to that point. How can help us? It's not necessarily YouTube super chats. You can just go watch shows. We have lots of great old shows on our channel. That I even started playing a little bit of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I had a couple episodes of that if you want to check that out, but that helps support our channel. You can also go to kcpmerch.com. We've got some really cool merch. We've got phone cases, Pilsner glasses, blankets, stickers, hoodies, t-shirts. All of that helps support the channel. And you can also go to our flagship store, kybercave.com, and get yourself a saber, everybody. And then once we get to 3,000 subscribers, we'll be doing a NeoPixel giveaway. And you can learn about those rules as well when that giveaway happens. But how do you enter that? You just chat. Say something in the chat and you're entered into the giveaway. It is that simple, y'all.
And it's usually only 30 or 40 people, so it's not like thousands of people you're competing against.
I think the most we usually get here is like 35 to 40, so it's not like you have a tiny chance in like 1 million to get a saber. But we welcome all of you coming in and hanging out and saying hi. And that is it. Do you want to add anything, Van, before we do our talk of the town?
No, I'm excited. I want to thank our new producers that we have coming in, Uppercuts, Eric and Graham. I'm excited to
having me, guys. I'm excited for the future. So yeah, let's do this. So.
Yeah, and if you guys want, if you and Graham want to stick around after the show, we can do a little bit of chat about any questions that you might have and and anything else. All right, guys, you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week with Keith Tucker on the show. Enjoy your talk of the town. See you later, all.
Adios. Oh, and I like GalaxyCon. It was great.
You like what?
Yeah, Say Wong had a question about GalaxyCon. It was.
Oh, okay. I didn't quite see it yet. I see it now. All right. Bye.
We did get to meet some cool celebrities. So
yeah. Okay. Have a good week, guys.
Master Shake is coming on the show too.
Cool. That's awesome.
Have a good week.
So a few months ago, we released this stand for our hologram display, but everyone keeps asking us to make one that looks more like the Jedi Communicator. So I spent a month working on a new design. I wanted it to feel visually recognizable, but new. Instead of the rounded donut edges, I went for a sharper look. I kept the grills on top, but added an emitter hole in the middle. For the 3 arms, I wanted to thicken them up to reduce the chance of them breaking off. I think it turned out great, but what do you think? It's available right now on our website, so go check it out if you're interested.